Students, now we are going to describe the phylum number fifth, phylum Aschelminthes. Actually, before phylum Aschelminthes, we have done the topic regarding phylum Porifera first. The second was the Coelenterata, third was Ctenophora, fourth was Platyhelminthes, and just after fourth there is the fifth phylum of animal kingdom, that is phylum Platyhelminthes. Actually, when we move from the lower to higher animals, that is from Porifera to the Chordata, then we have found some common things among them. They all are show either diploblastic, triploblastic, they are either coelomate, acoelomate, pseudocoelomate. It means they are common in the animal characteristics, but the uncommon things will be in them, that is the development of their digestive system, the circulatory system, respiratory system, etc. Means when you move from Porifera to Chordata, then the every system of life process will actually become complicated. That is, for example, in case of Platyhelminthes, that was actually either total parasite or having a very simple type of digestive system. But in this phylum, there is some of the living organisms are actually the terrestrial, means the free living or aquatic. Later I will describe you about the phylum Aschelminthes. Now let us begin the topic phylum Aschelminthes. Actually, the other name of this phylum is phylum Nematoda. Phylum Nematoda. Actually, nemas means the thread. Nemas means the thread. Listen. And eidos means form. It means most of the living beings belong to the phylum Aschelminthes are actually thread-like. So that they called Nematoda. The common name of Aschelminthes is the roundworm. Actually, there are a mystery regarding the fact why the Aschelminthes is called roundworm. Why? Listen carefully. Round, as you all, round means the circular things. Worm means any living being that are actually very little in morphology, and they are actually similar to the spindle fibers like structure. So why they called round worm? Because when you make the TS of any group of this living being, that is when any living being belong to the Aschelminthes, then you will probably found their body actually are totally the circular. The body are actually totally circular in diameter, that is circular in morphology. Suppose that this is the sketch pen, and when you see the TS of sketch pen, what is the TS? As I have told you, when you make that section of the any longitudinal object through this way, there will be the TS, or through this way there will be the LS. When you make the body of Aschelminthes as a TS, then you will find the complete circular. There has a complete circular body shape or circular design. That's why the nematodes also called as roundworm. But there is a little confusion among the students regarding the roundworm and ringworm. Listen, roundworm and ringworm. That is, when you pronunciate the roundworm and ringworm, there is probably similar things. That is, ring means circular, round means also circular. But actually the roundworm is a group of living being belong to Aschelminthes or Nematohelminthes. But ringworm is actually the disease. That is actually the disease caused by fungus. And later it will be described. So I hope you have a clear distinct concept regarding the ringworm and roundworm. Now back to the other features of phylum Aschelminthes or Nemato. First one, they all are free living. may be terrestrial, may be aquatic. Listen carefully. But some of them is parasitic in nature. So they may be terrestrial, aquatic, or the parasitic in nature. Terrestrial and aquatic are free living SK helminthes. So don't be confused regarding the group of SK helminthes are mostly free living, but some of them is parasitic in nature, and all the parasitic SK helminthes causes diseases. Later it will be discussed. Now second point is the body level, that is organization is actually body level, and before it either the tissue level or organ level. Third one is the symmetry is bilateral. The symmetry is bilateral, and I hope you have a clear concept regarding the bilateral symmetry. When any object can be bisected from a single point into two equal halves, that the object are said to have the bilateral symmetry, and bilateral symmetry are also found in SK helminthes. Now fourth one is the body cavity. Actually the SK helminthes are pseudocoelomate in nature. Body cavity is pseudocoelomate, and whatever the pseudocoelomate, I hope you have a concept regarding, you have a clear concept regarding pseudocoelomate. There is a pouch like scattered cavity found in the mesoderm, and it is discussing the characteristics of animal kingdom. Now fifth, the habitat. Actually as I have told you, they may be the parasitic, they may be the terrestrial, aquatic, or parasitic in nature. If they all that is some of the SK helminthes are also parasitic, but actually if they are parasitic, then they have the monogenetic life cycle. If they are parasitic, then there has a monogenetic life cycle. Monogenetic life cycle means there has only single host, as like the fasciola, as like the tinea. The SK helminthes do not have the two hosts. It has only single host, that is either human being or other living being that directly feed to the nematoda. Now point 6, digestive system is very simple type. It means they are actually surface feeder, or actually soil feeder, or actually living in the that is living in the other host. Then there is no need to have a complete or complex complex digestive system. So there has a very simple type of digestive system. Don't be confused regarding this. Now point number 7, actually the excretory system, it is very important. Excretory system of SK helminthes are actually basically depend upon the rennet cell. Basically depend upon the rennet cell. Listen, rennet cell. So how do the SK helminthes perform excretion? Through the rennet cells. And how do the platyhelminthes? There was have a phloem cell. So you should have a parallel concept regarding the SK, that is regarding the excretion and excretory system. So excretion occurs in SK helminthes through rennet cell. Now point number 8, reproductive system. Actually there is no asexual reproduction found in SK helminthes, but apart from SK helminthes, the platyhelminthes and Porifera, Coelenterata each have performed the asexual reproduction. How and why, it was actually explained previous video lectures. Now in this video lecture I will define you only regarding the reproductive system of SK helminthes. Actually reproductive system of SK helminthes is performed through the sexual reproduction, and basically they has the sexual reproduction and required two parents, one is male, another is female, and you can easily identify whatever the male SK helminthes or whatever the female SK helminthes. For example, in case of Ascaris, the female Ascaris is longer, that is bigger in size than the male Ascaris. It means if you have a clear-cut morphology, if you have a clear-cut idea whatever the male and female, as like the human being you can easily identify the male human and female human, then in biology that concept is known as sexual dimorphism. Sexual dimorphism. So what is sexual dimorphism? The concept of biology by which we can easily recognize the male and female through their morphology. So all about the characteristics of SK helminthes like Ascaris and other things is over. Now back to the example of SK helminthes. Example of SK helminthes. Example of SK helminthes. The popular organisms belong to SK helminthes is Ascaris. Ascaris, and a variety of Ascaris is Ascaris lumbricoides. Ascaris lumbricoides. L-U-M for monkey. Ascaris lumbricoides. Actually, Ascaris lumbricoides causes a disease in human being called ascariasis. Ascariasis. And ascariasis, the main symptoms of ascariasis is the abdominal pain and regular blood containing constipation. That is actually the sign of ascariasis, and the cause of pathogen of ascariasis is Ascaris lumbricoides. Actually, only human is a single host for the Ascaris lumbricoides. So Ascaris lumbricoides behaves a monogenetic lifespan. And more detail about ascariasis and their disease control we will discuss in next class, that is in class 12. Now second example is Wuchereria bancrofti. Wuchereria bancrofti. Wuchereria bancrofti. Actually, Wuchereria bancrofti cause filariasis. Sometimes filariasis is also known as the elephantiasis. In this way, the human being actually can be assigned by the infection of filariasis by means of their swollen lower limb or upper any limb. It means the hand or leg become swollen as like the somehow the foot of elephant. And you can also found that kinds of diseased patient in your local area. So क्या होता है उसमें जनरली हाथ पैर जो है फूल जाते हैं, और वो क्या होता है, वो क्रॉनिक डिजीज होता है. क्रॉनिक मीन्स लंबे समय तक चलने वाली डिजीज होती है, ठीक है ना, वो कभी ठीक नहीं होता है. और शुरुआत में अगर उसका इलाज कर दिया जाए, बहुत सारे ऐसे एंटी निमेटोडल है जैसे योमेसान, एंटीफेन, बहुत सारे ऐसे डिजीज, बहुत सारे ऐसे दवाएं हैं जिसको इसका ट्रीटमेंट कर दिया जाता है, ठीक है. सो वो लिम्फ में स्वेलिंग की वजह से होता है. सो बेसिक फीचर्स ऑफ द वुचेरेरिया ऑफ फिलारियासिस इज द स्वेलन लोअर लिम्ब. बेसिकली पैर ही फूलता है, ठीक है ना, हाथी पांव भी बोलते हैं इसको. हाथ वगैरह वो रेयर केस में फूलता है, लेकिन हाथ में फूल जाता है, ठीक है. तो ये वुचेरेरिया बैंक्रफ्टाई का फिलारियासिस. नाउ बैक टू द नेक्स्ट. सो सम टाइम इट इज कॉल्ड फाइलेरिया वर्म, ठीक है. Now back to the next, the ankylostoma. Ankylostoma. ANCYLOSTOMA. Ankylostoma are actually called as the hookworm. Last time PMT एक मेडिकल के एग्जाम होते हैं नीट, उसमें ये पूछा गया था द कॉमन नेम ऑफ एंकाइलोस्टोमा. तो बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट कंफ्यूज हो जाते हैं. एक बात और, एस्केरिस का जो कॉमन नेम है वो राउंड वर्म ही है, ठीक है. अब आते हैं नेक्स्ट, एंटेरोबियस. एंटेरोबियस क्या है, ये पेट के केंचुआ इसको बोलते हैं, ठीक है ना. एंटेरोबियस उसको पेट का केचुआ बोलते हैं. ये भी एस्केरिस की तरह से इन्फेक्शन देता है. तो ओवरऑल जो पूरा फेज है फाइलम एस्के हेलमिंथेस का ये खत्म हो गया. इन नेक्स्ट वीडियो लेक्चर आई विल डिस्क्राइब द लाइफ साइकिल ऑफ एस्केरिस ओनली, बिकॉज इट इज मोस्ट पॉपुलर एनिमल बिलोंग टू एस्के हेलमिंथेस. थैंक यू.